Hey, what's up guys? Nate here. This is another set review video. I initially thought I was going to start with base set and work my way up, but I come to realize these videos would be better if I actually did them when the set releases. So if there's a set that you want me to review, just leave it in the comments below. I'm not going to go in particular any order. I'm just going to eventually hit all the sets that have ever been made. So it's just going to kind of be a random order, but I will do new sets the week that they release. So today we're looking at PALDEA Evolved, which has an official release date of today. There have been some pre-release events going on, and maybe in the future I'll try to get these videos up for those events. But yeah, let's go ahead and jump right into it. We're going to be looking at PokeBeach for all this information and some of the card scans. I usually use Pokelector, which I'll use for older sets, but since the English cards haven't been fully scanned in, if it's a set that's coming out on day of recording or within a week of recording the set review, I'll probably be going to PokeBeach to show you that. So yeah, let's get to it. So PALDEA Evolved, as you can see here, June 9th is the official release date. Pre-releases start this weekend, but this was May 25th. So there has been pre-release events going on. Overall, it's a pretty solid set. It comes in at 279 cards, 193 cards in the main set, 36 illustration rares, 26 special illustration rares, 15 ultra rares, and 9 hyper rare gold cards. So once again, the large set size continues for these new sets. It's kind of crazy now. You have to have basically an entire dedicated 360 card binder for each set now. You know, it's just gotten wild, but yeah, we're gonna take a look at this. There probably won't be too much to hit on for the normal set. You know, it's really all about those illustration rares and special art rares, which are actually pretty cheap for new sets. It's a really cool collectible option for today's sets. I really like the price point that a lot of those are at. I mean, you can pick up a bunch of them for a couple dollars here and there. So yeah, we'll take a look at those for sure. But yeah, this is a set combination of Japan's Triple Beat, Snow Hazard, and Clay Burst, and the Pikachu EX starter deck. Their official press release said that there would be 18 total Pokemon EX, 15 regular EX, and 3 Terra EX, but there's actually 17. It's weird to me seeing the Terra stylization of the Pokemon, you know, in Scarlet and Violet on the cards. They really don't do a good job showing off like the visuals of that. And, you know, a lot of people think that that mechanic is kind of silly. You know, I don't know why Game Freak went with something like that, but you can almost kind of, I don't know, I almost kind of feel the embarrassment that Pokemon has to show like these giant chandeliers on their heads. So on a lot of those cards, you really don't see the big piece on their head. And I wonder if that's why, like, if they know that it doesn't look that good. But yeah, we'll see. So these, of course, are all the Japanese cards because we don't have all the English cards scanned in yet. But yeah, we won't be covering the gameplay side of things. But here we do have a Fortress EX, so card kind of looks cool. I mean, this is kind of the Terra stylized, but you can see this is what I mean here. It is a Terra stylized Pokemon, but they don't fully show like the huge crystal on his head. It's kind of hidden there. So overall, that artwork is pretty cool. It's got a very like action-like artwork. But continuing on, we do have the starter line, Sprigatito. I always mispronounce this, but very cool starter. This is actually the starter that I picked in my game. I love the cat style. But yeah, we have some very cool artwork across the whole set once again. Let's see, moving on. Here is, well, let's just kind of speed through the rest of these here because we want to get to the art rares and the secret art rares, but I'll stop at all the EXs here. So here we go. We have a Wuqian EX and Paldean Tauros. This card actually looks sick. This is one that has caught my eye, and I want to say that's a new artist. So that's an artist that you don't really see around. So might be new for this set or in the Scarlet and Violet era. Here is the Fire Starter Fuecoco. Looks like each starter has like 2 basic cards, and then they have the middle evolution and then the EX version of their final evolution. So sparkle on the cards. I did see these in person on English. They are very cool. They're very sparkly. But yeah, if you've been used to some Japanese openings, it's pretty much, you know, what Japanese has been come to expect. Here we have a Gyarados. I'm not too fond of this artwork. It's kind of weird positioning there. But moving on. See if anything else. Here's old Quaxley. So here's Quaxley's basic card. Here's his other basic card. Then he's got the middle evolution, which I'm not really a fan of. He's got like a butt on his stomach there, or I guess that's his legs. But yeah, there we go. Not a super big fan of his evolutions. I do like Quaxley, but yeah, the other evolutions, I don't know. All right, let's move on. This is kind of the pseudo legendary of the generation, Frigibax. So this is kind of like the Dratini to Dragonair and Dragonite line, if you will, of the series. So we have Frigibax, Arctibax, because they are ice type. I think it's giving them water type here. But yeah, and then Baxcalibur, very cool card. Kind of overly cartoony looking, but very cool Pokemon in the actual games. Here, of course, we have the Pikachu cards. Pikachu EX. That's actually a really cool looking EX card. I really like the positioning and stuff on that. But of course, all these cards, you know, the EXs are essentially what Vs are in the Sword and Shield era. They're not going to really be worth a whole lot. Some of them are going to be way more playable than others. But yeah, for the most part, you're not really looking at any value here in the normal set itself. There's no Charizard card. So yeah, usually if there's value in the set, it's in the Charizard card. But yeah. This is one of my new favorites as far as like the new games. The Tinkatuff and Tinkaton evolution line. These guys are really cool. It's nice to have like a fairy steel type. They're really cool in the games. I actually love this line. Looks like they paid them a lot of love here. So what you got, Tinkatink, 3 versions of him and 2 versions of Tinkatuff, and then Tinkaton, of course, coming in with a holo card. Should have made him an EX if I had my way. That would have been an EX for sure. But let's go ahead and keep on going. There, like I said, there isn't much to hit on in the rest of this set. We do have a T-Tar here. Not the best artwork in my opinion. But yeah, we'll go ahead and skip ahead, and I'll stop when there's something else. Alright, yeah, so basically nothing else. We went through some trainers. It is cool. They do have a lot of character trainer cards. This is going to be the talk of the set. Iono is in this set. This is kind of the chase card, not this one in particular, but we are going to see a chase card coming up with her. This is pretty much, you know, falls in the waifu category, of course, but yeah, very exciting stuff. But let's go ahead and hop into these secret rares, and we'll get there sooner or later. But starting off, we have Heracross. Very cool card. It is nice artwork. It's weird that he's kind of staying on the side of the road, so I'm not sure what that is all about. But yeah, here we have a Tropius. Checking out some apples. Here we have a Spirigatto. I'm probably chopping that name up so bad. These new Pokemon are getting to me. You know, I'm old, guys. I'm an old collector. I don't know what these new ones are. Aside from the games, I don't buy modern packs anymore. But yeah, this is a very cool artwork nevertheless. I love how it's just chilling in the flowers and taking a little nap there. Even his other evolution cards, very cool. I mean, we saw these early on the Japanese side. But yeah, those 2 in particular, the starters, are very cool. So let's go ahead and jump through the other starters. Here we have Fuecoco chilling in a grocery store, and his evolution kind of wrecking havoc in that grocery store. And Quaxley, I feel like Quaxley is kind of the weaker one of all the starters. I think Fuecoco and the cat got a little better end of the deal on the artworks, especially the kitty cat. But yeah, it's still good art. But out of all these cards, I think the starters did have a lot of love. Especially the grass type. I mean, this is just beautiful art. We do have a Fletchinger chilling by the campfire. I think that's pretty cool. Pyroar, this one isn't doing it for me. I don't know why, it just kind of looks weird and the symmetry is off. We do have a Magikarp. This is going to be a bigger card, one of the more desirable ones. So if you guys pull this, be sure to check out prices there. It is a very cool Magikarp card. It's got different styling around it. This is Shinji Kanda, which almost has a Komiya type vibe, but definitely unique in its own way. And if you look up here in the constellations almost, you have a Gyarados peeking down. So very top-notch card right there. So yeah, this is out of all the just normal character rares, I feel like Magikarp is going to be a pretty nice penny above the other ones. But here we have Meryl. Lots of Pokemon featured in this one. But yeah, not as cool as the other ones. See if the others stand out. Speaking of Komiya, kind of stood out to me before I even clicked on the card. This is definitely Komiya artwork. And that is Frigibax, the pseudo-legendary, once again, jumping into a little river there. Here is his evolution line. And also Komiya. And looks like we're finishing up the line with Komiya as well. So very playful looking cards there. Interesting that this is kind of the main feature of that evolution line. So it's really cool to see Komiya still making some great things. Moving on, this one's kind of weird. So out of all these cards, this one really stands out to me the most. Oh, not that one. This is Mismagius. So it is weird, right? It's like a little, I don't know. It's like almost like a presentation or a mural of some sort. So very interesting take of the artwork, very unique. Don't really think it's going to be like super desirable as much as even the Magikarp, but very unique card there. I just love, I mean, just looking at these cards, I mean, it just gives you such a wide range of variety, and that is definitely a positive in Pokemon. Moving on, we have Tinkatink. Love that artwork, and Tinkatuff. That is pretty awesome there. Let's see. We got a Tyranitar. Now, you know, it is an art rare, but it kind of looks cartoony. I mean, it's a very cool card. Very cool, like, pose and all, but just kind of lacks that, you know, special artistic value that I think a lot of these have. Then we have the Paldean Wooper. Just kind of chilling. All right. Let's see what else we got here. Got Orthworm, very Dune-y vibes right there. If you ever seen Dune. Got some Flamingo. And yeah, that pretty much is all I really wanted to touch on for the art rares. Down here we do have the full art EXs. But see what I mean? Like Dedenne EX, I mean, they are showing quite a bit of the crystal, but you hardly see any Pokemon artwork where they really show off the crystal because it just looks silly, honestly. And I think they know that. So yeah, you can tell on the card side of things, they kind of cut it short. So, you know, don't blame them there. It looks kind of silly to me. But a lot of these are very basic artworks. They are just the full art EXs, so really kind of like bland looking, honestly. But here's where we move on to the character rares and the special art rares. So let's go ahead and check those out. So finishing up the character art rares, we have Iono coming in at 254. This one is going to be a pretty popular card. She does have a special art rare, which I'm going to show you, which is going to be the chase of the set. So moving on to the special art rares, we have Meowscarda. Very cool card, kind of keeps the theme of the flower theme, you know, kind of throughout the other evolution cards. But very cool looking card there. Moving on, the only other ones that really stick out to me, I do like Tinkaton, but compared to the Tinkatink and Tinkatuff, I I think this is the lesser quality of the artwork. I mean, honestly. So a lot of these other cards are pretty simple. We do have Boss's Orders, which is kind of a cool little unique scene there. But I do like this Chuyu, or Chiyu, however you pronounce that. I really like this angle. There was another card like this. What was I thinking of a couple sets ago, which was kind of underwater theme. Can't quite remember what it was. It was like it was a water type, but anyway, takes away from this card. This is a very awesome, like, I like how it's like symmetrical. You got the trees kind of going up in the background. Looks like you're underwater looking up into the sky. And yeah, just chilling there. Very nice artwork on that. That's honestly probably one of my favorites right there. Yeah, all these others not really doing too much for me. I like this one, this Grusha. Pretty cool scene there. But the chase of the whole set, guys, is going to be this Iono. I don't get the hype. I mean, yeah, it's a waifu. Overall, this set doesn't have much else going for it, honestly. With these set reviews, I will be rating them, but Iono here is just kind of the scapegoat chase card, in my opinion. A lot of people are just, recognizing that there isn't a huge card aside from this waifu chase card. Right now, this is going for $150. I imagine it'll come down a little more. Overall, though, I mean, the other cards in the set are just the gold cards. You have the starters. You have a couple of the new legendaries. You have a Super Rod, Superior Energy Retrieval, and then a couple of the energies. So, I mean, honestly, guys, I mean, this is the big chase card. I don't get the hype. The Japanese card peaked at like a little over 1,000, I think. As I'm making this video, I think it's going for like 900. So, pretty crazy there. But I just don't get the hype, guys. Overall, this set is pretty solid. It'll be fun to open. It's got some cool artwork, but I think we're still lacking that nostalgia, and they're starting to sprinkle in. We got Fortress and the new Drafifi. I call it Drafifi, but Fair Giraffe or Giraffe-a-Rig. So it's kind of a cool, sprinkle in of some old stuff. We do have T-Tar and all that, but we're just lacking that true identity. This is kind of a set that doesn't have an identity on its own rather than Scarlet and Violet. So it's going to take us, in my opinion, a couple sets to really familiarize ourselves with the Pokemon. I'm kind of familiar with it through the games, but all these new Pokemon are still kind of being discovered for the general population who don't really play the games. So I think we're still in the warm-up period. But looking at these starters, outside of the starters, that Magikarp and Iono, this set doesn't have too much else going for it. It will be fun to open. Like I said, good artwork. But with those values lacking, I'm going to give this a solid... It's going to be a solid 6 out of 10. All right, that might sound harsh, but I'm gonna be harsh on lots of sets. I actually almost want to rate this lower, but since this is one of my first set reviews, this is going to be a 6 out of 10 for me. So I really want to place it in the 4 and 5 range, but I do like the direction they're going with this set and all the artwork. So yeah. 6 out of 10 is my final verdict. If you guys are able to get some, it's going to be fun to open. As with most of these modern sets, it's not worth the hoard. I mean, there's going to be so many of them. But yeah, you guys probably know all about that. But thank you all for watching, guys. If you want to see me review another set, regardless how old, I've done base set and I've done Paldea Evolved. That's it. So I'm going to hit them all. If you guys want to hear one first, let me know in the description below and we'll start a list and we'll knock them out. So thank you all for watching, guys. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.